Hello everyone! In celebration of the upcoming Halloween, I'd like to tell you about a ghost story in the place that I used to live in. I spent around 6 months in that house, and a lot of neighbors came to me and told me a lot of scary things that had happened in the house before my family and I moved in. So, let's begin. In 2010 or 2011, around that time, sorry, I can't remember the exact time, but probably around that, the house that my family and I were living needed some sort of reconstruction, so we had to move into another place for a short time. Luckily, we got a very kind and generous relative who invited us to come and stay in one of his houses in the area, because at that time he was one of the wealthy elites of the place, so he had many houses, and we came to one of his houses and stayed there for around 6 months. Okay, first, instead of jumping right into the main story about a girl who was claimed to haunt the house, I'd just like to give you a bit of the background about the place so that you can have a better understanding of the place and better imagination while you listen to my story later. I was told by the local people that the house was constructed before 1975, so it was used as a health center. A lot of soldiers were transferred here for healing, but some of them could not make it and eventually died. Actually, the first horror story began with these soldiers. There used to be a very poor couple who asked the house owner to let them stay in the house for a while, and of course they didn't have to pay for anything, and the house owner agreed. However, their first night in the house, while they were sleeping, they could feel something that grabbed their legs, and in their dreams they saw some soldiers telling them to go away and return their land. Then they woke up and started to panic. They made some offerings with incense and prayed in their head that they were so poor and they didn't have anywhere to go. So, if they could win the lottery tickets, they would move out immediately. Surprisingly, they did win the lottery ticket on the following day. Instantaneously, they moved out of the house, returning the house the gloomy look as usual. After that couple left, a girl moved into the house. She was the one who later claimed to possess the house. One night, some burglars broke into the house. They raped her and took away all of her money. She became so desperate that she eventually decided to end her life at the breadfruit tree right in front of the house, and this is actually where all the real horrific story began. The first day we moved in, a lot of neighbors came to us and asked us some unusual questions like, did you notice something weird inside your house? Did you hear something suspicious? And of course, it was the first day we were in the house, so sometimes we replied them with very negative responses. After 5 months living there, my gran passed away, and not until my gran's funeral did people come and tell us about all the stories that had happened inside the house, about the soldiers, about the girl who hung herself right at the breadfruit tree in front of the house. My cousin used to live in this house too, and he told our family that he encountered this girl already. It was a summer night when my cousins left all the windows open while he was sleeping, because it was summer and it was a bit hot and suffocating. So I think a lot of people would do things like him, just let the windows open while they sleep. He woke up at midnight and he wanted to go toilet. When he returned to his room, he saw a white face of a girl with long black hair out of the window bars. and the face just sat slowly like this until it completely disappeared after the window bars. At first, he thought it could have been some burglars who were trying to break into the house and stealing his money. So, he grabbed a stick nearby and hit the window bars in hope of scaring the thieves away. But nothing really happened because the house is actually surrounded by a lot of trees, so the ground at that time was full of leaves. So if it was the thieves, he could have heard the steps of the thieves, but he could not hear anything. The next day, he told his family and his friends about the event, and he was told that he might have met the girl, and they told him about the story of the girl who hung herself at the breadfruit tree just right in front of the house. The story really triggered some memories of our family about the time when my gram was lying in the living room waiting for the death to come. I'm going to show you the layout of the house later so that you could have a better imagination and understanding of the story. So basically, my gram was lying on the bed overlooking the breadfruit tree through the window bars. She usually pointed at the tree and told our family unusual things like, "She's over there. She's just right there. She's asking me to come with her. And I've got to go. I've got to go." And those are all the things that my gram told our family before she passed away.
Hey guys, so I am now standing in front of the place where the story began. So as you can see, the house not here anymore. And actually, we came here this morning and was told by the local people that the house was demolished last year. As you can see, the place has become a very overgrown and deserted area. So there's all sorts of vines and wild weed and plants taking over the whole yard. And in that corner, there used to be a breadfruit tree, and that was also where the girl chose to kill herself. So as a local custom, we do believe in spirits and the underworld. So before coming here, we prepared offerings for the spirit of the lady. So as you can see, we've got fruits, snacks, joss paper, candles and flowers for her, just to ask for permission to come here.
So, to conclude, I don't know if all the stories that my neighbors and my relatives told our family were true or not. We spent 6 months in that house and we never saw any soldiers or that girl even once. So I really have no idea. If you feel interested in this topic or in the story, just leave comments in the comment box below and let us know what you think. So that's all for now. See you later.